Alrighty. Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. We're just set up for today's session. With that in mind, we always put on a little timer, which is your opportunity to check who's online and whether the people you've invited and the members you have in your team are online or not. While you do that, we'll put a quick timer on. Alrighty, for those people who are brand new Neumi members, or maybe you're a customer who's been invited because we have a world champion athlete you're going to hear from today. We do have closed captions live, not in the playback, but certainly live here in Zoom and then on YouTube. So have a quick listen to this.
Por favor, vaya a la parte inferior de la pantalla en Zoom o YouTube y haga clic en subtítulos para leer en español.
Kérlek, menj a képernyő aljára, a Zoomon vagy a YouTube-on, a Closed Caption részre, és ott el tudod olvasni magyarul a feliratot.
Silakan klik di layar bawah pada Zoom atau YouTube dan klik caption untuk membaca dalam bahasa Indonesia.
Pour les sous-titres en français, veuillez cliquer au bas de votre écran Zoom ou YouTube sur CC ou Closed Captions.
Zoom または YouTube の画面の下部に移動し、字幕をクリックして日本語で読んでください。
請到屏幕底部點閱隱藏字幕以閱讀中文.
Παρακαλώ πηγαίνετε στο κάτω μέρος της οθόνης, στο Zoom ή στο YouTube και κάντε κλικ στους υπόλοιπους για να τα διαβάσετε στα ελληνικά.
請到屏幕底部點擊隱藏字幕以閱讀中文.
אנא עברו לתחתית המסך בזום וביוטיוב ולחצו על תרגום לכתוביות בעברית.
Proszę zejść na dół ekranu na Zoomie lub YouTubie i kliknąć napisy, żeby przeczytać po.
Beautiful. Welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Firth here, one of the founding advisory board members and crowns with the company. And I've been away for, 3.5, 4 weeks. So did you miss me? If you did, type it in the chat because it's good to get away once a year from the Diamond Retreat and then do a bit of traveling and also get away and just switch off completely because I do have quite a bit of focus on keeping the online world going for Neumi. And I want to thank publicly Keith Chazon for catching the ball because you know what? The whole concept of this business is being able to duplicate yourself. And Keith does a magnificent job of keeping these things running. And I just wanted to thank you for that. Just like Phoebe always steps up as a leader and says, hey, can I help you with the door and help people online and that sort of stuff, which is fantastic. Now, I've got to say, when I left, it was cold here in Australia. And then I've come back and it feels like the middle of summer. So with that in mind, where I sit in my part of the building, and you guys as members know this is actually a video of the view that way. It's not what I'm actually behind me is a green screen, just in case you wondered, right? Technology. But it means at this end of the house, I've had to leave the 2 doors open because Liz didn't want the air conditioning on, and it means that I can hear a lot of noise. And sometimes, and I say this with love and respect for every human being, sometimes people on those big motorbikes where they're overcompensating for something with lots of noise, they go past and you can't hear yourself think. So if that happens, I want you to type the word motorbike in because I want to know whether you can actually hear it while we're doing the presentation, guys. So today we've got 5 things lined up for you. Really excited. 5 things. The first one, Paula Romagueras, interview with a world champion figure skater who is saying this product is just transforming her life. You'll hear that. And one funny thing she says in the interview is when she was younger, and I'm looking at her going, younger? You kind of look 16, but she's just very young looking. She's in her 20s. Then the other one is I'm going to talk about a topic that the Greek team had me present when I was in Athens about not limiting yourself to one market. And this is very important directly off the back of hearing about sports performance. Then I can talk to you about the PRP training launch, the tools. There's a Neumi article that's online right now, went online minutes ago, or hours ago, I should say. And the final one is we're looking for some leaders for something. So with that in mind, I'm going to kick off straight away, firstly, with this spectacular interview. And I want you to know that every time I create something, I'm sure someone will type it in the chat. They'll go, oh, is this recorded? Every single thing I do is put onto the YouTube channel in English. Now, the beautiful Florence, you can see in the corner there, is actually doing live translation right now in French. And she is recording it live, and then she'll be creating that for the tools as well. And you can probably see a little chat just went in there for people to read. And of course, that'll pop up every now and then as well. So if anybody else out there has a language that they can translate and they could be translating live and recording it, hey, you're all welcome to do that. Please let me know, because the more tools we have in more languages, the better. So with that in mind, let's kick off this first interview. It'll give me a chance to stop speaking for a minute, but I also want you to hear this and know that this will become a tool on the YouTube channel as of tomorrow. So have a listen to this. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter where you're watching this from. This is Michael Firth, one of the founding Field Advisory Board members and Crowns with Neumi. And it's my pleasure to do interviews with all sorts of people from different walks of life. And particularly today, we're going to talk about sports. Now, you've probably seen that we have the True Shield certification, which means that even Olympic athletes around the world are now can use our product with confidence, knowing there's absolutely nothing in it that can harm them, but everything that can improve their performance. We have multiple world record holders now across different codes. And today, you're going to hear about a young lady who was brought to us by Damien Garcia. She has pioneered a sport. So if you think of figure skating with ice and you think of roller skating, what about inline skating as a figure skating competition now? And that's actually something that's going international. She was the one that pioneered it in Spain and has won all the gold medals ever since. It's quite profound when you hear this story. And so with that in mind, we're going to hear from Paula Romaguera, if I pronounced that right. And she has with her right now Olaya Gomez, who is her coach. And just so you know, Olaya doesn't speak fluent English, but she's here supporting Paula. And Paula does speak enough English to get the message across. So Paula, thank you for taking the time to spend with us today and share with us the impact you've had with 3 different Neumi products that have helped you with performance. And we're going to talk about all of that. But to kick off, so people understand your sport, can you start with that? Tell us a little bit about your sport and how you got into that.
Well, first of all, hello to everyone. We're happy to be here. And well, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I've been skating for about 13 years now, and it wasn't until 2019 that the sport got official and we started competing internationally. It was the first national championship that year in Panticosa, and me together with another teammates from Spain were convoked for the first time ever from the federation, from the Spanish Federation, to an international competition, which was the European Championship in Germany. And it was the first time this championship had the Spanish representation regarding inline figure skating. So it was a great pleasure to be there and to start opening the doors toward the international competitions in these sports. And since then, it's been already 7 years, and we've been in 7 national championships, of which I've managed to gain all of them. I've got 7 national gold medals throughout different categories throughout the year, because I was, as Michael said, I was younger then. I had 14 years old, and now I'm 20. So I've been in different categories. Now I'm in the senior one, and we've been competing not only in the national championships, but we've been competing throughout Europe in the European Championship in different countries. And I've also managed to win 4 European gold medals and 1 silver medal throughout these 5 different competitions I've been to. And not only that, but I've been last year I had the pleasure to be selected from the federation to represent Spain in the World Championship for the first time. So not only that, but I also came back home with a gold medal too. So it was such an honor for me to open the doors of this sport, not only the national, but the European and the World Championship. And coming home with a gold medal was like amazing, because it's been such a hard work throughout the years. And I guess there's no other thing that makes me happier. So
And I understand that even right now, only I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, you're actually in China and you've just won another gold medal. Tell us about that.
yeah, that's it. We're actually right now in Beijing in this interview, and we just come from winning the world championship again for the second time in a consecutive year, and it's also like it's been a pleasure to having been selected again a second year and being able to win again this competition, because we've fought so hard to be here this year. We've been training not in Spain but in Atlanta because I've been studying abroad this year, and it's been so hard for us to reach this goal, and for us to make it finally. It was amazing. Like we couldn't have ended the season in another way.
Beautiful. And you know what? I think another time we should interview you. It doesn't matter what age you are, you have overcome obstacles, you've had perseverance, discipline, all the things it takes to be successful in business, and you've done that in sports. So on another interview, I think we should get you back to talk about that, because people of all ages could learn from you, I'm sure, with your perseverance and your determination. But today we're going to talk specifically about the products that you've had an impact with. And the first one is NutraSwish. Tell us what sort of impact that's had on you.
Well, I started having these products like 1.5 years ago, when Olaya told me about them, because I was having problems regarding my ankle. I had a great swelling in my ankle, and she had been having the product for about a few months or so, or more.
Yes.
Yeah, more or less. And she had really quickly noticed the effects. So she was like, okay, why won't we try it and see how it works? Because she knew on her it had a positive effect, and the effect wouldn't be negative. So we didn't lose anything by trying. So I started having NutriWish, the first one of them, and it was on a time where I had such an intense workouts, because I had to prepare for both the European and the World Championships, because I had the European Championship in July and the World Championship in September. And I was used to, well, like throughout the season, we normally train about 2.5 hours a day. And in summer, we normally increase those hours because we've got the international competition. So we have to prepare more for them. So we normally train about 6 hours a day. And not only it was a time where I was kind of injured, but I had to do a great performance in the trainings for me to be able to do a great job in the competitions. So we started having Neumi, and I really noticed the effects really fast. Not overall, not that much physically at first, or at least I thought so, but more mentally. And I had a great focus, and I had a change of mind, and I was like super effective on the trainings. Like I was just focused on my goals, and we have to do this way. Okay, we've got this problem, don't worry, we can make it work this way or this other way. Like it helped me so much, because I was a person that kind of had a little bit of problem in that way, and it really helped me. And regarding the physical part that I was telling, that I didn't notice it that much at first, I later realized that I might have not noticed it like directly, because I turned from training 2.5 hours to train 6 hours a day. So obviously I was gonna be tired. I mean, it's 6 hours of training a day. It's a lot of training. So I guess it helped me a lot regarding. I had the same energy I had during my 2 hours training throughout the years, but in all those 6 hours a day, like I could be productive and effective in those 6 hours with the same energy that I had been in the 2 hours throughout the year. So it really helped me, and I've been having it like for the whole 1.5 year, and it's helped me a lot to reach where I am.
Beautiful. Now, I want to add something to this. So you've said strength and endurance when the longer training sessions, mentally, people talk about glutathione, particularly our product because it's nano-size, helping with mood and focus, which is fantastic. But you did mention something else. I've just come back from our Diamond Retreat in Europe, 40 hours in airports, and I know the impact of our product on me with jet lag. Here I am, and I should be asleep, and I'm wide awake and talking to you. You said it had an impact, same part of the same question, that NutraSwish had an impact on you with that as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, totally. Like we, as I already said, we come from 2 big jet lags because we've been training in Atlanta for a whole month preparing the World Championship in China, and we fly from Atlanta to Madrid, and then from Madrid to Beijing. So it's a 12-hour difference. It's like a 6-hour difference to Madrid and a 6-hour difference to Beijing. And that's a great hour difference when you've got to perform and do a great job in an international world championship competition. Like, you've got to be wide awake, because if not, all your hard work wouldn't pay off just because you're not hadn't got enough sleep, you know? So we were kind of worried about that, but honestly, we didn't have such an effect on the jet lag, because when we knew we were gonna have the jet lag, we were like, okay, we need to reserve our energy, and we were like, okay, I think we need to have Neumi. Like, there's no other way. And like the day before and the day on the competition, I had like so many Neumi. I was like, okay, today Neumi has to save me. Like, I need this energy. And I felt like on the beginning of the day, I was so tired because I was so nervous and I hadn't slept very much. And I was so different in the afternoon. Like, after having like the Neumi, I was like, okay, I feel like a totally different person now. Like, I think I can do it. So it's really helped me.
That's fantastic. Now, the other thing is too, being so young as you are, right? Being able to be a world champion figure skater and study as well. You're studying, and you mentioned, so tell us what you're studying, but you also mentioned that you use the Neuro product for that. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I'm currently in the 3rd year of biomedical engineering. And it's also, I've been using the Neuro Neumi, and it's also really helped me in that way, because I'm a person that has to make the most of her time to being able to arrive everywhere without struggling the way, because I have to make time for my trainings, time for my studying, and being able to be successful in both parts, and also try to have kind of a social life. So I normally try to make the most of my time, and then the Neuro product has helped me a lot to focus when I have to focus. And I normally have it in the morning because when I started having it, I had like classes on the afternoon, so I studied in the morning. And so I started having it in the morning, and I was like so focused, and I could sit down and just do my work when I had to, and then just go training and have more time to do other things as well. And not only for the study thing, it's helped me a lot, but it's also helped me in regarding when I have to compete and be focused and avoid like external noise that would kind of do something to my head. I normally have it and just try to go directly to my goal and try to avoid external noise. So it's really helped me in both ways.
Beautiful. I love hearing about someone young, because sometimes we see people who are saying, oh, you know, I use glutathione because I've got achy this and achy that. But you're talking a young person who's just nailing it in sports and staying mentally focused with your product as well. Now, some people, when they get highly stressed, particularly young people, break out in pimples. Other people who are older may have something happen with their skin. You've mentioned you use the Neumi Skin product. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, well, as I said, I'm a person that has so many things in their daily lives, and I try to reach everything, but sometimes when I'm in the middle of the season or when I have the final exams, it's really overwhelming, and I do really get stressed because I'm really perfectionist, and I try to make the best of me in all the ways of my life. So I normally have some skin conditions when I get stressed, and I've used the Neumi, and it's also helped me a lot. Like, I guess it's just helped me in that way too.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, any final thoughts in terms of leaving people with any direction, anything that you'd like to share with them as we wrap up?
Well, I guess I would just say that I'm really, really grateful to have found not only the Neumi product, but the community around it, because it's helped me so much in such different ways of my life, like being able to do everything at the same time, the studies, the training, and having energy. That's the most important part for me, like being able to do everything with a smile on my face and just, I don't know, give the best of me in each part of my life. So it's also helped me a lot, like in the energy part and just being like positive and focused. And I guess it's amazing what the product does.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, and also thank you for being the next, because we've had a few world champions in different sports codes now that are singing the praises of Neumi, and it's great to have another young person that's saying how great it has been for them. And as I said, I think it'd be a great idea that we get you back another time to talk about your perseverance, your discipline, and the things that you've done to become successful. So thank you for sharing, and I'm sure people will get a lot out of this particular interview. All right, who loved that? Type it in the chat if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're in Zoom room. Did you enjoy that? And do you want more of those? Because we can do more, but we need to know. Neumi is a field-driven company. What do you want? If you want it, if you want more, say it, let us know. Resoundingly, type it in the chat, and then, of course, we can create more of those things. What I loved was just this, and some people typed it, the continuous smile that she had, and the passion, the enthusiasm. But you know what? There's lots of lessons in there. And by the way, I should say, Florence, I hope you could keep up with that accent as well, because I know how hard it is keeping up with an Australian one. So there's so many things about overcoming, stress, and staying disciplined, and 6 hours a day training. If anyone asks me what's the difference between, say, someone who's struggling to hit 1 star and someone actually goes diamond or crown, it is doing more activity. It's pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. It's doing all the discipline and perseverance things you just heard that beautiful young lady talk about. And who else, put your hand up, who else, when she said she was young, was scratching her head going, what? She's very young already, but I love it when a young person says that. And being able to study biomedical engineering at the same time as being a world champion, like, man, it's just inspiring. Now, it's a perfect segue for the next thing we wanted to talk about today, guys, because sometimes people get involved in this, and we saw this happen when I was with Steve in his previous company where he had a glutathione precursor. Eventually, there was a groundswell where you noticed, if you've ever watched that movie Cocoon, if you haven't, go get it. I'll never forget, I was one part of the world I went to, and it was like you got off, everyone's doing backflips because they're on glutathione, but everyone has grey hair. It's like, what's this about? The Cocoon movie was everyone took a pill and they suddenly had the energy of when they were 18. Now, if we're not careful, we can target just sick, older people. And that leaves a huge untouched market, which is way bigger than that market. And unfortunately, in the previous company, we found some people ended up pushing that so hard, trying to, because we don't treat, cure, or prevent anything. We're not allowed to use any disease reference words in anything we do. And we're just a nutritional supplement that helps the body do some amazing things. But they would start targeting, sick people, old people. And, although it's a noble cause, don't get me wrong, there's all age groups, and there's many more reasons that people want to hear from you about Neumi. So with that in mind, I'm going to bring something up on the slides that I showed when I was invited to be the presenter in Athens, and it made me realize that it's not just Athens that needed to hear this, all parts of the world do. So let me just bring this up now. So this part of the session is a beautiful segue, hot on the heels of hearing what you just saw there. And I would start by saying, if you want to be a diamond, if you want to be a crown, don't limit yourself. Don't put on the handbrake without even realizing it. What do I mean? Well, obviously, sick people that have glutathione, it could help them, no doubt, right? When the body has all the nutrients, the natural nutrients it needs to, be your best. If someone's not quite well, maybe this could help. Again, we're not treating, curing, or preventing anything, but if you're not feeling you're optimal, maybe the product could actually help with that. And that's a fantastic market. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't target that, because that would be heartless not to do that. But if you're aiming only at that, and your blind spots, the horses have the blind spots, so that, just like she said, laser focus, she doesn't look at anything else. The blind spot is, I don't want to see a car drive past if I'm a trotting horse in Barcelona that I saw, right? Sometimes the blinders are on, so the blinkers, thank you, Phoebe. He knows more about horses than I do. She grew up on a farm. The blinkers are on, then you won't see your blind spot. You won't even know your blind spot. So you may not even know that is your blind spot. So I want you to do me a favor right now. Write this down. Go to your upline and ask them if they think you have the blinkers on and if they think you are limiting yourself to one market. So there's sick people, but there's well people. I can tell you this, and thank you, Larry, don't duplicate your own, you dropped out then, but I saw it briefly. Don't duplicate your own, what did it say? Where is it? I'm just trying to find it. I can't find it. I've got two screens on here, but it was a great conversation anyway. Let me bring it up on this chat. Here it is. Don't duplicate your own set of circumstances. Yes. Thanks, Larry. There's 80 plus years of wisdom in there, and a lot of it network marketing, and Larry is upline to the biggest leg in the business, so he knows something. And that can happen sometimes. I've heard this a lot of times, by the way, where someone says, yeah, look, no, my prospects just need to try the product and test it first. I'm like, right, why do you think that? Well, that's what I needed, and I know everyone does. No. That's your own self-limiting belief that that's what everybody needs, and you will slow your business down if you think everyone thinks like you do. Because a lot of people that I know have joined the business without ever trying the product first. A lot, okay? So there's wellness. And for me, I would put myself in that category. I'm not sick. So I've got nothing to treat, cure, prevent, none of that. I just want to be well. And I know what glutathione does for wellness, and that's fantastic. But there's more to it. You know, it's not just about wellness. There's sports. And hats off to the Australia and New Zealand team who led the charge with a project we were working with Chris Fowler about sports performance. And that's why you have seen so many sports performance testimonials come out. And then guess what? It then duplicated into other markets in the world. And now, thank God, people like Damien Garcia brought over this lady from Spain. And I want you all to keep doing that. Bring them in from every nationality, every area, because we're going to go massive and big in the sports world. Okay. And our products are unequaled in terms of what they can do. So that's a huge market on its own. And that also lends itself to young people, young energy. Now, Bert asked us as Diamonds, as a field-driven company, what do you think the next product should be? So we spoke to him and we told him what products and things we thought. And a lot of the consistent feedback was we would love to have a product targeting the younger market. So I'm not saying he is doing that. I'm just saying he listens. Let's see what comes next. Skincare, we know that's a market on its own. And the before and after photographs we have, lots of people try and fake their ones in other companies to look as good as us. But truth be known, most other skincare don't get past the first layer of the skin. So we have a great market there. Hair care just started. Now, again, don't limit yourself to thinking that product is designed to someone who's bald to hairy, because A, we can't say that, and B, it's not what it's for. I was talking to Sherry and Rhonda, who are getting mammoth results in the hair market. And, they showed me ladies who got rid of their frizzy hair and made it, just more manageable and smoother. And so there's a lot more to it than that. Okay. Again, it's not about curing. It's just about tabling the product and having people work that out for themselves. But we did ask, if you didn't see it, we did ask in the Facebook group, the Neumi members official Facebook group, if you have a hair care testimonial, we would like a before and after photograph. If it's curly to straight or whether it's, looking more fuller, 2 photographs taken in exactly the same angle, sent through to us, because we're about to do some promotional activity and you might have your head on the screen. Wouldn't that be great? Thank you, Christine. Then I'm going to put you this way. Actually, I'm going to ask the question and I might have teased you, but what do you think the biggest challenge that faced the earth straight before Neumi launched was? Any thoughts? Type it in the chat. What do you think the biggest challenge was? Just before Neumi launched. And that helped us propel super fast right around the world. And if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, type it in. What do you think was the number one thing? So Larry typed in COVID. There you go. Thank you, Larry. That is 100% correct. Now, what was the biggest impact from COVID, though? Type in your thoughts. What was the biggest impact from COVID? And I know that this is a landmine I've just thrown out there, or a hand grenade, because I said this in Greece and got some interesting responses. Okay, isolation, home-based activity, retail market dead, stay home, loss of income. Yeah. Okay. It's interesting. You guys, most of you have nailed it. When I was in Greece, they said um, amplified deaths, mysterious deaths from COVID jabs. And I'm like, I'm not going there, but they might be right. I'm not going there. That's a topic I'm not talking about. But a lot more than that was financial displacement and fear of the future and lack of confidence in where we're going. I had a conversation with my daughter last night. Her and her partner were saving for a house. Every time they save, it gets more expensive and they can't keep up. Liz's son, just been doing fly in, fly out work, got a heap of deposit ready, and now all the prices are going up again, can't even keep up. That is the bigger problem that COVID started, and it's not solely responsible for it, but that started insecurity of financials. So when we go back to the screen here, are you targeting financial displacement, people who are unsure about their financial future? It's a bigger market than skincare and hair care put together. It's bigger, way bigger. But unfortunately, there are some people in Neumi who are scared. It's an internal fear, if this is happening, of mentioning business because, oh, what do my friends think of me, right? So once you can get over your own internal generated fear of that, which is just internal, it's you, it's not actually happening, then when you have the confidence to say to someone, hey, I might be able to help you with that situation we're talking about. So the key here is to ask quality questions. So it's very easy to be able to, for someone who's got an achy this and an achy that, go, hey, I've got a product that can help you. That's so easy. You could do it with a blindfold on and a cane and you'd still be successful in some way. But asking deeper questions, becoming a great conversationalist and asking more questions about their lives and then discovering their needs, wants and don't wants and their fears, then you are the knight in shining armor saying, hey, I've got something that might be able to help you. I don't know if it is for you, but hey, if I sent you a video that explains it, would you watch it? This is why the people growing bigger businesses don't just share the product videos, they also share the opportunity videos because they get members, not just customers. The next one, people with financial displacement. What about people who just talk about financial freedom? I shared this story back when I was involved in the previous company and I was a national sales coach in the mortgage industry. I was chatting to someone at a bar, because that's what you did in the mortgage industry. And we were chatting away, having a drink, and he was talking about his martial arts. And I said, oh my God, I've got a product that can help you. And I didn't know that my boss who owned the company was standing right behind me. If I did, I would not have opened my mouth because my contract said you're not allowed to do anything else, right? But he was a really nice guy. There was two people in there. One of them has been friends for decades now. And he suddenly tapped me on the shoulder and goes, hey, what's this product you're talking about? And of course, first thing I did was need to change my underwear because I didn't realize he was there, right? Second thing, I just talked about it briefly. And then he said, all right, can you send me some stuff? And I'm like, sure. And then I sent him some stuff and I followed back up and he said, oh, well, that sounds fantastic. Let's get it going. I said, great, I'll register you as a customer. And he said, isn't it a good business? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, why aren't you telling me about it? And I'm like, because you just sold your business for $350 million. And he's like, I didn't become successful by being closed-minded. Oh my God. Take that one exactly as I did, gobsmacked. So there are people out there looking for financial freedom who are already successful. Why aren't you targeting them? Yeah. Then there's travel. We've just come back from travel. Now, if you're on my Facebook, and if you're not, feel free to add me, but if you're on my Facebook, you would have seen, Vespa sidecar around Rome. You should have seen the sunsets in Santorini. Now, I'm doing that because, yes, I take lots of photos and I love that. That's my passion, but I'm also a smart leader and I understand my job is also to sell the dream a little bit. Who wants to go to Santorini? Who wants to go? And I had the most spectacular pasta of my life there, and Liz is an amazing cook. But, who wants to do that? Type in yes if travel is something you'd love to do, because there is so much opportunity. Liz had never traveled outside of Australia when we first met. And I don't say that in a nasty way. She was a single mum who purchased her own home and done so much, but she was focused on that. Since then, I think it's been 15 countries in 4 years, thanks to Neumi. So who do you know out there that might want to travel? And it has nothing to do with wellness or sports and all these things. There's so many more reasons, guys. And finally, you heard it out of the mouth of a 20-year-old, community. Some people will become part of Neumi because they love the community. They love the fact that these people aren't going like this with money, catch my dollars. They're about helping people, how they're about growing as a community together and all those things. So people join for different reasons. So ask yourself the question, and let's be really honest, type in the chat, have you limited yourself in any way when you look at this, and did you discover anything new? Put in yes if you did. And if you think, no, I've got it all together, don't type anything, because that means you've arrived and you're probably already a presidential. So well done. Being a bit facetious there. Be well-rounded. Yes, beautifully. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That's fantastic. All right. So I'm glad that's helped. So start thinking outside of the 9 dots, ask more questions and get to know what people's needs, wants, and desires are. Now, I'm going to show you something that has just been done because I did it 2 days ago. I want to thank, firstly, I've got to sign in while I'm doing this. Sorry. Isn't it funny how technology sometimes signs you out of something you had waiting? I want to personally thank the following people. And then I want to encourage you not to reach out to them and ask them for tips and hints on what I'm about to show you, because what happens is, and I had this conversation with someone yesterday, when we're talking about growing a business, so I'm just bringing the right screen up here. Here we go. Perfect. And where is it? Playlists. All right, great. I'm going to show it to you now. When we're talking about growing a business, some people, not Neumi leaders generally, but some leaders in this industry are like, you can't talk to my people. These tools are for my people. No one else can have these tools except my people. A very lack financial mentality and very selfish. It's not Neumi. Whereas if I create a tool, I respect Crossline. I don't try and interfere in any other Alex's legs, Rhonda, whatever. I don't coach anyone, but I can create tools and they can all have them. And so the company asked some people who are experts in a professional reseller program, which you might say is only the US and Canada, but yes, but if you think that way, you're limiting yourself mentally yet again, because every single diamond in the world needs to watch this training I'm going to show you, because we don't want people to watch this training and go back to the beautiful Sherry Werner, Rhonda Dasher, AJ Davis, and Jean Grosso. We do not want you to go back to them for advice, because if they're not in your diamond upline, you should be going to your diamond upline and getting advice. So they have selflessly contributed their own time, as Ryan did as well with me, and we recorded a 3-module set on every single thing you would possibly need to know about the professional reseller program. And right now, if I show you YouTube, which I will, you will see that on the YouTube channel, if you scroll down, that's us live streaming right now, and there'll be playbackable. Is that a word? There's the Discover everything about Neumi in the right order, which is the 4-minute video, the opportunity overview, followed up by Steve. That's the path we always use. And then if you scroll further down, there's lots of other videos, and eventually it says playlists. So under playlists, if I can click that one, yes, I can. That's one playlist. You know what? By the end of the day, it'll be obvious. There'll be a playlist in there. Play all. No, I don't want to play all. There is another playlist in there. I can't find it, but I will find it, and I will put it into the Neumi members group where you can click it. And I want everyone to do this. Put your hand on your heart, your other hand in the air, and I don't care what rank you are. I want you to say, I promise that I will watch that training so that I am the leader, truly leading my own group and the one following up with all the advice and support, not throwing them someone cross-line and assuming someone else will do all the work for me. Okay, so that's really important. Added to that, if you now go to, thank you for typing in your promise. Someone just did that. If you go to Business for Home, and I will make sure this is into the Facebook groups in just a moment, you'll notice that if you search for Neumi, an article went live only a little while ago. I'm going to bring it up right now. And here it is. Neumi enters momentum phase as global glutathione soars. So right now, if I go back here and go back here, there was a great article, and I'll have it in the groups for you. So I would encourage you to go in and grab this and share the willies out of it on everything. There's a beautiful photograph of all of us when we were there. So have a read of that and have a share of that. And then I want to make sure that every one of you maybe puts a positive comment under it as well. Because if you go, yeah, I know that, Phoebe and Keith will do that. What if they don't? They're probably going, well, if you do that. No, everybody goes, let's do it ourselves. So go onto that site, Business for Home, type Neumi, find the latest article and make some comments, positive stuff. Because if you do that, then that ripple effect will affect absolutely everyone. in the company as well. With that in mind, the final thing, I said there was 5 things we wanted to talk about. We had Paula Remigeris's interview, world champion. That'll be live in the group soon. We talked about not limiting yourself to one market. Maybe some people got some new thoughts there. We talked about the PRP program. Thank you to all of those experts that have recorded that training, so you have everything you need to know without needing to reach out to them. Number 4, the Neumi article that's now live that we want you to comment and share. And finally, I want to say this. Leaders step up. Presenters never quit. Now, right now, you might be saying, there's no way in a billion years I could present online like Michael Firth does. I'm going to say this out loud because Phoebe won't mind me saying it. We've been friends for years. She once said to me, I'm a technical moron, not me. She said she was a technical moron. And I said, rubbish. You can always teach someone a new skill. And so if you want to be a presenter on the roster that happens every single week on the official presentation, reach out through your diamond. Tell us you want to chat. I would encourage it if you're a 1-star and you haven't got your own group. No, we don't want you to practice on everybody else. We want you to create a group to practice on first. When you get to 2-star, you're getting to that level because 2 stars haven't duplicated yet necessarily, but 3 stars and above, absolutely. We would love everyone to stick their hand up and volunteer because a 3-star has created 1-stars. That's why it's the first main rank in terms of leadership. So if you're a 2 or a 3-star, and you've got a group that's growing and you're keen to learn how to present and you'd love for us to hold your hand, teach you how, and then have you publicly viewable on the YouTube channel and getting exposure, which will help your cause, then reach out. And again, if you just want to take a baby step, I could never present that, Michael. That's okay. What about being an MC? If you want to be taught how to be an MC, reach out again and we'll give you a little snippet where we'll teach you, we'll help you and grow you. Because what Neumi needs right now, you'll read that article and we're going like this, what Neumi needs right now is more people out of their comfort zone, stepping up and making a difference for everybody. So I'm glad I'm back. Lovely to see you all and look forward to seeing you on the next event. And yes, Steve is presenting tomorrow. So same time, same bat channel. And next week, look out for this. We'll put it out soon. We will have our CEO doing a special presentation about 5 things to get your business flying as well. So make sure you see that and keep abreast for the YouTube channel and the group, because I'll have a few things going in there as promised in the next